we need to all help each other. Like we need to all help each other succeed and share these resources, because the culture is, at least in Hollywood, so much of it is like, I mean, I got it, but you got to figure it out on your own, because I don't want them to see you and then take away the opportunity from me. And it's like, it doesn't have to be that way.
I was personally excited by this. I saw when Jazmine Sullivan tweeted you and said she would love for you to do a Hotels short film, which Hotels it might be our. I mean, I think it might be my favorite thing of 2021, favorite album.
That is
Um,
fair.
if she'd be willing to do some extra songs, and you tweeted back, say the fuck less. So when can we expect this glorious project?
Listen, Jazmine just sent me the eyes emoji the other day. Like we've been going back and forth. It's always come down to scheduling. Even when she tweeted me, I was drunk on a boat celebrating my birthday with my friends, and I one of my EPs on the show had to text me, and all she texted me was Issa, period. And you can't text anybody that, because my drunk heart dropped, and I was like, what the fuck, what happened, tell me what's going on. And she was like, no, Jazmine just tweeted you, she wants you to do. And so I was super hype, and I was like, when your favorite, Jazmine is my favorite artist, she is my favorite artist, she has been. I've, written to her music since, her very first album. I imagined making a movie to her songs. I started to write, when I told her this, I started to write a movie to her first album, and then never finished it. So to get that call was exciting. But part of me was like, girl, why you didn't hit me before it came out? I would have cleared my schedule. I'm about to shoot this show. And so it's just been a matter of making it work. But I'm committed to making it happen.
Well, the streets need it, as they say. We need that collaboration to go down, particularly given you have such a eloquent breakdown of the whole phase. So I'm like, I need whole phase to be hotel, so that we can have a whole aces. Like we need this all
A
going
whole
down.
aces.
Yes, I'm
Feeling
here for that.
it.
Yes. And by the way, I subscribe to the belief the whole phase is whenever you want it to be.
I mean, it's
Right?
real. It really
Yeah.
is. You just
It's
have to
it's
tap
not
in.
it's not just for college, and sometimes it may come at a different point in your life when you're
Yes, it
single.
could.
And yes,
I've
it
seen
could.
it. I've seen that play out with some of my heroes. My heroes have been, some of my heroes are older women who are just getting it in, and respect.
Yeah, definitely a lot of respect. As as I said, you're doing a ton of different projects. I'm sure you're asked this a lot, but I'd love to still hear your answer nevertheless. Is like, how do you prevent yourself from being spread too thin? Because you have, radio, you have movies, you have shit, you're writing rap shit, which I want to ask you about. I, do you care to prevent this, or how do you prevent this?
Yes, I definitely care to prevent it, but I lean on the people that I work with a lot. I definitely get frustrated. One of the things that I've realized is I came into this to create and to make stuff, and in doing so, created a company and then companies, and that comes with managing people ultimately, and being a leader and a CEO. And those aren't things that I signed up for. That those aren't things that I was trained to do, and that's a completely different skill set. And so that has been hard to navigate. And as we grow, and as these companies grow, that's something that I'm learning to do, and learning like, oh, I don't want to do this. I want to focus my arenas in this area. So it's a balance, and that has been spreading me thin. But I'm just learning how to navigate that, very transparently. Um, but yeah, I'm. This is what I want to do. I'm excited to create and build things. I've always loved to just build things, and to be able to do that with capable, smart people that I trust is a dream come true.
Well, making that transition from merely artist and creator to business woman, what were some of the challenges for you in doing that?
Not knowing shit. There's a huge learning curve, and in many cases, like I remember one year I was so into the business part and building that I looked up, and it had been a year since I wrote anything original. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is what I wanted to do. So what am I doing? So that's been a challenge, but I think yeah, the team part is hard. People are hard. Not not everyone. I don't think that everyone is built to lead, to want to lead. Again, I feel like that's its own skill set, and I think in any job, it's going to be hard to run a company.
Yeah, I mean, despite what LLC Twitter says, it's like it's not. It's just
What is LLC Twitter? I need to know this.
all right. So LLC Twitter is this, like everybody as we're taping this, Joe Biden signed the COVID-19 relief bill, right? So everybody getting a new fresh set of fresh set of stimmies, right? So LLC Twitter will convince you on $1,400 that you can start a multinational company. That is like whenever it's any new money that is given to anybody, they're like, yo, you need to take that refund check of $50, get you an LLC,
Invest.
and invest. It's like, nigga, shut up. Like, it's just like, that's what you want to say. It's like, dog, like, everybody is not meant to build a business. Like, I believe in creating wealth. I do understand that part of it. But, yo, there's one Jay-Z, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, he can do
Yeah.
that shit. Like, I ain't got a title up in me. Like, I don't. So, I have my own companies as well. I do what I do. But LLC Twitter is, I don't know if it was LLC Twitter that had that crazy question about would you rather have
Oh,
dinner with Jay
dinner
Z.
with Jay-Z, or I saw
Yeah,
that shit.
yeah, that's some LLC Twitter shit.
Okay, say no more.
Yes, it's like take the money. People talk about the other favorite question, 800 credit score or $10 million. It's like motherfucker, take the money. Like what are you talking about?
That
So
is possibly the dumbest thing I've heard. Okay, got it.
it
That I
is.
didn't know that was a question. All
I put
right,
that in the
well,
bucket of yes. I put that all in the bucket of $200 dates and all the dumb shit that happens on Twitter, which it does entertain me because the responses are
it's
just
very entertaining.
very very entertaining. But I know how difficult it is to suddenly have to switch over and be a CEO and like run shit, and especially if you just want to create. So, what does your writing process look like now versus I guess how it used to look?
Well, it's really been about designating days, and that's been really helpful. The pandemic, as devastating and terrible as it was, really like for so many of us, it made me push pause and reevaluate the energy that I was expending. So uh, I've dedicated certain days to just clear to write because I realize I need that. I need to have the space to be able to be creative. And then a couple of days a week is when I designate all of my business doings and meetings. And I've been really protective about that time. When we're shooting, all that shit goes out the window, but at least I can justify it by like, oh, I'm shooting a show. I'm shooting the thing that I created. But yeah, I've just been really protective of my creative space, which impacts my creative process.
So, you and the City Girls, who I put in sort of my, um, uh, if I had a council of life coaches, it'd be like the City Girls, Meg The Stallion, Lil Kim, Cardi B. Like you, I share an affinity for ratchet, empowering female rappers, right? And so, and I don't even call them ratchet. Like they're just good. I love them so much.
Yeah.
So you all are creating a series for HBO Max, rap shit. So what can you tell me about it?
It's one of those series that I was able to write during the pandemic. Wrote the pilot, and HBO Max dug it, and it was just a story that I really wanted to tell because it was inspired by just this particular time in rap and in the abundance of female rappers that we have, and the competition, the community that exists, and also the rise of so many of them happened via social media, and that's been so interesting to watch, and obviously I can relate too. So I wanted to put those factors in the show, and then the comments that JD made back in the day, I guess a year now, about like, why are all female rappers, why do they have to rap about their pussy, which I thought was just so unfair. So all of those elements combined, I was like, I want to make a show about this, and wrote it, and then HBO Max ordered it to series, and because I said it in Miami, I was like, and because City Girl, I thought about City Girls, I thought about Cardi, Meg, but Miami, you can't do a show without in Miami without the City Girls. So approached them, and they were down. And they've been really, really great about making sure that it's authentic. Because I'm not from Miami, I've been there a couple of times, and really just love the city. And I wanted to have the same authenticity in Miami that LA has for Insecure, Insecure has for LA. And then who's showrunning it is a writer who I love, who's been on Insecure, Sarita Singleton, and she's killing it right now. So I'm really excited about the writer's room and just getting it out there. And hopefully we'll be shooting it this summer.
Did you have a relationship with the City Girls? Like, how did this collaboration come about?
Beyond fandom, no, no, I had been, I remember when someone put me onto it, I was at a music, I was actually shopping for label deals before radio. And one of the execs was like, have you heard of City Girls? And this was back, this had to be 2018. And I was like, no, I'm not. She was like, their mixtape just came out today. I feel like you'd love it. And I was like, okay, girl. And then I listened to it on the way to the car, like home. And I was like, this shit nuts. And then put like all their music in season 3. But I've just been a fan and looked up their story and was like, damn, this is so dope. And their documentary. So approaching them to do this was the first time we ever got to talk. And, I got to tell them how much of a fan I was. I was kind of nervous just because they're dope. And then you realize like, oh, they're regular people too. So it's just been great.
Now, I apologize if you have done this and I've somehow missed it, but I know you have the record label, you have radio, but have you yourself thought about putting out like an album?
No, I would, in fact, before radio, I was approached to do that. And I always thought like, no, people know that I can't rap like that. I'm not an artist. I don't want to do this. Um, but took those meetings, and then within those meetings the idea came to start a record label, and I was like, oh, that's something that I would for sure want to do. And then that's kind of how radio was born.
How is that business different than the other things that you do?
The music industry is crazy. It's fucking nuts. Like I've always, I know Hollywood, I understand the nuts and bolts, and the music industry is significantly crazier in a different way. And that's been a fun learning curve too. I'm really leaning on, the president of our label, Benoni Tego, who has a background in music, and it really just has a vision for making this more than a label. And he's done so. And it's an audio everywhere company where we have music supervision, we have, a library, we have publishing, we have all these different facets, podcasts, obviously. And so it's really its own kind of content and company, while making sure that the artists that we represent, own their masters, have health insurance, like all of these things that I would want as an artist. We're very artist friendly.
It seems, a lot of your mission, a lot of your projects are obviously open up avenues for other creatives, other artists. Was this always the plan, that you wanted to be, a bit of, Harriet Tubman leading us to freedom?
How you gonna disrespect Harriet? Please.
It's not a direct comparison. I mean, I hope people understand the spirit of that. But you the creative version of it.
Was that always the plan? I think back in my web series days is when it became clear, like, because I kept on getting approached of just like, how did you do this? How did you do this? And I also met a couple of other people I went to school with, who actually, one girl I went to school with, Jemele Webb, y'all kind of reminded me of each other. It's so weird. If you ever meet Jemele Webb, y'all got similar energy. But when I was doing Awkward Black Girl, she was like, we're trying to start a web series. There's this other guy, James Bland, who's starting a web series, or who has a web series. Can you guys like come tell us what to do? And I was like, yeah, sure. I don't really know. I'm just doing it, but I'll share with you everything that I know. And that meeting, learning from him, it was his show, Fail Show at the time. And then like actually literally telling them everything that I knew about how I did what I did, and was currently doing what I was doing, because I only had like 3 episodes of Awkward Black Girl out by then. Was just like, man, we need to all help each other. Like we need to all help each other succeed and share these resources, because the culture is, at least in Hollywood, so much of it is like, I mean, I got it, but you got to figure it out on your own, because I don't want them to see you and then take away the opportunity from me. And it's like, it doesn't have to be that way. So that was just kind of how I approached web series, was just like, okay, if I have this platform, then you can have it too. And we should be able to build and help each other. And if I hear about this opportunity, I'm gonna make sure you hear about it too. And if it's yours, you'll get it. If it's mine, I'll get it, but you should know about it. And I've always just approached everything that way. And then just as a fan, I've always wanted to see more of our stories. And I can't tell all those stories. I'm not equipped to, I'm not skilled to, I don't have the experience to. So as a fan, I want to see other people's dope stories. I want to see other Black people's dope stories, and, you know, other creators of color. So if I can support that, then that's what I'm going to do.